Back so soon? Oh no, what happened?
A little incident at the dog park. We gotta head to the vet.
Oh, not again. These bills.
We can use CashNet USA. We can apply in minutes, get a fast decision, and have the money in the account as soon as the same business day. All right, Cheddar, back in the car.
When you need money fast, be the hero. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times. See CashNetUSA.com for more details.
Next Level Pet people will do anything for their dogs. That means treating them with next level protection from parasites with NexGard Plus, Afoxolaner, Moxidectin, and parental chewable tablets. NexGard Plus chews provide one-and-done monthly protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms, all in a tasty beef-flavored chew. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about NexGard Plus Chews.
Hello, friends and listeners. I'm Natalie Jean, and I, along with Amber Nelson, host the show Place Under Neith, the show that you are, in fact, currently listening to. We are on a season break at the moment, and so in the meantime, we are uploading our live streams from Twitch over to this feed. The Twitch shows are Wednesday evenings at twitch.tv/LPNTV, and then they will be uploaded to this feed a couple days later. So if you're new here, we do have much more structured shows during the seasons, but right now in between, you can listen to us spout off about current events and news stories that are happening right now. So thank you guys so much for your patience, for your patronage, and for your focus and attention while you fold your laundry. Someplace underneath.
Geocaching is super fun. So you get this like little box and it comes with these instructions, and you could do it on Hollywood Boulevard. So it'll be like, go to Frank Sinatra's Star, and then it'll have a riddle, and then you can go there and like you'll find like a present or like a gift. The only thing is like you leave something else, you know? Am I describing it right, Rob?
Kind of,
yeah. So it's like, has anybody done geocaching in the chat? Thank you. There's an app for it. Yeah. So you go and it's like a little hidden gem, like behind a tree or like behind a log or under a brick. And there's a gift there. Sometimes it's money, but you leave something too.
How does it remain without getting stolen?
I think because they're so well hidden, us normal newbies, us pletheians, NPCs, we don't see these treasures, but they're all around us.
Wow. Isn't that sociological statement?
Right. Oh, Don Beatty's 151. Look at all these subs you're gifting. Has anybody done geocaching?
Geocaching? Is it geocaching?
Geocaching, not geocaching. But I want to go on Hollywood Boulevard, maybe for my birthday.
You want to go do it on Hollywood Boulevard?
Right. I don't think that's a good idea. Now that I say it out loud,
I don't think that's a good idea.
50 of us roll up on the boulevard, like
we just spent the entire room just spent 10 minutes describing all of the horror stories that have occurred on Hollywood Boulevard.
Because a bunch of us live and work in Hollywood. I used to work at a gym on Hollywood and Highland. That's plethora of stories of just people going insane. But let's roll through. Let's go 20 deep.
20 deep?
And find the little gifts. Choo-choo. Hype train is close.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, it's so fun. Amazona says, yes, it's so fun. Love geocaching. Box of Demons. I used to geocache. It was in a smaller city, though. Picky Pineapple. People know what it is. I think all the cool kids are doing it.
I think it sounds fun. I just immediately go to the worst case scenarios with everything. I'm just like... What if they send you there and they've just like left a condom filled with cum?
They could. Hype train, condom full of cum.
Condom full of cum.
That's right. Condom that is a gift.
But then I guess you could just harvest their babies, which is the brighter side.
That is the brighter side. Just plop it right in my poo hole and out comes a mystery baby.
Oh, no, that's not where it goes, though. Doesn't go in the poo hole.
We are the cum condom. That's right. Thank you, Demon Limerick. Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We got so much to talk about.
LA is such a fun, weird city. I really do love it here. Today I got a Citizens app announcement that an escaped inmate was at LAX.
Really? Flying out of here?
They were from Texas. For some reason, they were flying through LAX and they were not paying attention to her. And she escaped, which made me want, that's geocaching. Go find her.
Go find her. On the run. I love a woman on the run. Am I right?
It is fun in the sense that in a movie it would be really cool. Probably more scary in real life. I don't know what she did. Could have been pretty violent.
She could have been something bad, yeah.
But essentially she got a hoodie somehow and got the hoodie to cover her handcuffed wrist to her. So she's just walking around with her hands handcuffed under a sweatshirt
That's
somewhere.
That's kind of cool. Hype train is close, 43%, 3 minutes till we get it. That's really fucking awesome, kind of.
I know. I mean, I appreciate her
her zhuzh, her gumption.
Zest for life.
I've always thought, like, if I were to run from the law, what would I do? And I would take my cell phone and I'd put it on a bus going east and I would go west. So the cops, they're going east where my GPS tracking device is. I'm the other way, baby. I'm already off the other side of town.
You got to get a burner phone, though, right? You got to get some form of communication.
I'm sure I could. I could find one.
You could.
Yeah.
I think I could figure it out.
I should get a, speaking of like a go bag, at the farmer's market, they were handing out pamphlets on like how to make a go bag and like how to prepare for disaster. Is this a thing I should be concerned about?
You should always have a disaster bag ready.
But like right next to the mushrooms and the candles?
Honestly, that's a really good idea because especially in areas where we have natural disasters like earthquakes and shit, definitely, I should get you one. I do the pre-made ones, but...
Oh,
yeah.
Pre-made go bag?
Yeah. There's companies that make them that are all just prepared. The one I like, I believe is called Jane. I might be wrong. And they base it on your zip code. So wherever you are, they'll put like the best things for the most likely of disasters that naturally happen.
That's what I want for my birthday is a go bag.
I mean, it's not a bad thing
How
to
much
have.
are they, though?
And then you have a bunch of extra free water. You know, it's just right there.
How much are they?
You could make a cheaper one, but if you get the prepackaged, I think it depends on how big you get, but it can go from like, I think, $40 to like a couple hundred.
$40 is okay. I would say like a birthday gift, $40 is reaching it. You know, I don't want people to spend too much money. One of my friends, he said that his male roommate got him he wanted a $300 drone for Christmas. And I was like, is your male roommate sucking your cock? Like, what's going on?
I mean, and that is the show of love. Oral sex and how much you spend on the presents. I'm always keeping track. I keep a little tab.
We have another
Who's
hype
doing what?
train. 2 hype trains. Choo, 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 choo. Abigail, ABBASGAIL_ Thank you for gifting all those subs.
Well, let's go into a little bit of missing news. We talk about on Spun a lot of missing people, and I think, like you said, Amber, not occasionally, let's say many times. Let's go with many times.
Sure.
When people go missing, they are found, and that it's important for us to continue to talk about missing cases because of that, because there are cases like the one that you have brought to the attention of us that really she was found because the case was reopened because people were sharing it, and she was found much later on after she disappeared. If you want to put that TikTok up.
Yeah.
And 5 after 13 years, Amarillo police say a missing teen has been found alive. In October of 2010, 14-year-old Jessica Delgadillo was reported missing by her family. After a lack of leads, the case eventually went cold. In 2023, Amarillo police established the cold case unit and began looking into 3 cold cases involving missing children. With the help of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Amarillo police began updating information on Jessica's case. In November, Amarillo police received a call from a woman saying she was Jessica. DNA swabs were collected and sent for comparison to a known family member. Today, police announced DNA confirmed the caller was in fact Jessica. She requested that her location and details of her disappearance not be released. The case is now closed.
She was found.
Yeah, the reporter really fumbled the ball on that last name. I think it was probably closer to Delgadillo. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Delgadillo.
But she was a child when she went missing, and I don't. There's a lot missing in the case. She is an adult now, and she wants her privacy to be respected. So
what I thought was interesting was that it seems as though she wasn't sure if that was her family, and that makes me wonder.
Like, what happened?
Was there something like super traumatic that happened that she would have been old enough to remember her family? So I don't know what that's about, but it's nice that she seems to be at least safe enough to reach out and to, confirm her identity with the family. And hopefully that means that they can reunite in some way, because if she didn't want to be found at all by her family, which happens sometimes with missing cases, like they are intentionally disappeared because they don't want to talk to their family anymore. Right. It seems like maybe this was not that case. So I hope that they're doing well. And of course, we don't need to be involved in their story past this, but it's nice to know that sometimes people are found and we should always keep talking about it. So that case was reopened. It had gone cold a long time ago, and the detectives reopened the case, and they were sharing it with what's it called, the Department of Missing Children. I don't remember the name is the
Department of Missing Women and Children.
No, but that's it's that's the idea. It's the idea.
National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Thank you, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Thank you very much, Tirzo. It's good for us to continue to talk about stuff.
Right. So keep yapping.
I will. All I do. Yep.
Box of Demon says, Amber, you should place your own geocache sometimes. I would love to. I would love to go with my little goodies to place them. Rowan Backetit says, y'all look so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Rowan Backetit.
And Pink Coffee Cake said, we should all have go bags. You're right, Pink Coffee Cake. We should all have go bags.
Guess what? Bad shit can happen anywhere.
Anyway, should I put tarot cards in my go bag?
Yeah.
I'm in the woods just like, oh, it's the death card. You're like, yeah, it's the apocalypse.
You should have brought a flashlight, Amber.
I just bring like glitter and tarot cards.
You never know. It might be those tarot cards that save our life.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. I do think you should start your own company of spiritual go bags. You would actually sell a lot of those, I think.
See, I love the woo-woo stuff, but there's like a line. Like I went to a sound bath the other day at this new place. It was like wonderful, but there was a picture on the front desk that was like, for $75, you can unlock your true path. And I was like, oh, this is the line. This is it.
What does that entail?
It was just a pretty lady, just being like, and she's like, $75.
But she doesn't explain what happens?
No, you're just going to unlock your true path. It's like, this is the line.
Maybe she jerks you off.
I fucking hope so.
$75.
Please. Hype train. 3 hype trains already in 11 minutes. You guys are fantastic.
God. Oh my God. Speaking of fantastic news, there was a death in the world of the satanic panic. The people who perpetrated it. Just recently, I think it was last week, a guy whose name is Bennet Braun, who was one of the. There was a number of people spiderwebbed out who caused this like satanic panic issue to happen in the 80s and 90s. He was one of the big guns on that. His name again was Bennet Braun. You want to pull up the Fox 8 article? If you slide down,
he was a psychiatrist.
Well, a lot of the people who fueled the satanic panic. Oh, maybe there's not a picture on this one. Sorry, guys. A lot of the people who fueled it were psychiatrists, psychologists.
Really?
Yeah. We talked about a couple on the show too.
Sorry.
What did you remember?
What did I
say? We've done a lot of shows. So a lot of the people who were fueling it were medical professionals, psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists. Mostly that's who was doing it. And then that would lead to parents sort of latching on to it, sometimes parents with like maybe some mental health issues. But did Satan kill him? I would like to think so. But if Satan was involved, I think he would have done it a lot sooner. This guy's story is pretty horrible. If you want to pull up the Wonkat article, he was a very bad person, and he died at 83. There's his picture.
He looks bad.
What's interesting about him to me is that a lot of the people who did fuel that came from a very conservative background. So we talked a lot about Barbara Snow, who helped fuel a lot of that and also created Teal Swan.
I'm sorry. A lot of those conservative backgrounds, I'm surprised at how much they have in the mainstream. Like a lot of our horror movies are funded by them.
Well, a lot of the horror movies are also just biblical, like moral tales.
Right. Because they want you to believe like Satan's real. He's coming to get you.
Well, the whore always gets it.
Yeah.
You know?
The whore gets it.
As she should.
God, when am I going to get it?
Don't say it. Don't say it too loud. So this guy, he came from a pretty learned family, which is not to say people who went to college can't do, but they do all the time. But a lot of times people are sort of fueled by their childhood indoctrination. And there's nothing to really suggest that he did have that growing up. He was much more in academia. His dad was in the medical field. And it does make me kind of wonder if he was more conscious of him knowing what he was doing, because it made him very famous and it also made him a lot of money. But he was somebody who made people feel as though they had like multiple personalities. He helped fuel like these fervors of people talking about like cults that they were being a part of, or they grew up, they're having their repressed memories coming back that they were in cults, and he was like over prescribing medication. He faced a lot of scrutiny. He lost his medical license, and then Montana gave it back to him after all of this happened. And he continued to practice until the year 2020, when he was around 79. Even though he did all of these horrible things, he got all of this public criticism. He just went to a state that would allow spiritual abuse, essentially. And he continued to practice until 2020, when he lost his license again for overprescribing and making people think that they had multiple personalities and shit.
Oh my gosh.
So he worked until almost his death.
Pandora makes it easy for you to find your favorite music. Discover new artists and genres by selecting any song or album, and we'll make you a personalized station for free. Download on the Apple App Store or Google Play and enjoy the soundtrack to your life.
Amazing deals for every day of summer are at Nordstrom Rack stores now, and they're up to 60% off.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas? I always find something amazing.
Because the best deals go fast.
Save big on Marc Jacobs, Madewell, Steve Madden, and more. Plus, buy it online and pick it up in store the same day for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
I mean, I can see how he's working, because it is a sexy story to be like, the devil's real and he's in your soul giving you wet dreams. Take this pill and make me famous. As opposed to being like, maybe you're just kind of bored. Maybe your own government is making laws against you, and like
it makes you sad.
It makes you sad, and that's okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because that's boring.
Right.
Boro. Nobody's going to give you applause on a TV show if you just make somebody feel more at peace.
No, and I think the satanic panic is coming back, because I see a lot of people I saw a fashion show where they were all wearing black, and it looked a little a party, and it looks a little ooh, and then people are like, it's Satan, and I'm like, they're just wearing the color black. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah, that's never really gone away. It's definitely, I feel like, upticked since COVID and the election in 2016. I think that's kicked up quite a bit with all the QAnon stuff, but that's never really disappeared. I don't think it ever will. I think some people just they want to have a very black and white understanding of everything, and it's easiest to see imagery that represents what their idea of hell is like, that's bad, which we always talk about. Oh, polo shirt tucked into khakis is good, no matter what he's actually doing.
That's what God is wearing, Natalie. God has a braided belt and boat shoes.
Yes.
Don't we know this by now?
I very much do. And no matter what that person does, that's fine. But if somebody's, if they're being spooky. They're up to no good.
No good. Demon Lemur Nick says QAnon was our new satanic panic. You are correct.
Yeah. We talked about that quite a bit during the Teal Swan series, but I agree with you completely. And we're living through it right now, which is fun. It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Unco 1986. My grandmother would believe that the horror movies would literally make Satan appear in real life if you watch them. And I think that's unfortunately not that uncommon of a belief system. And which was, what's funny, you guys, have you watched either the New Omen or what's the Sydney Sweeney one called? Immaculate. Have you watched either of those?
I haven't seen that. Is it good?
They're both very fun. They're exactly the same movie, but that was one of those just, parallel thought things. I don't think it was because they were copying. But one is about the baby of Jesus, and one of them is about the baby of the devil.
Ooh, that's like a back-to-back double feature night.
And it's really an interesting sort of mirror of each other that just so happened to happen next to each other. But I do think it's sort of indicative of how we're all feeling during all of the satanic panic shit that's happening now.
Right.
But really fascinating take. You have to, with Immaculate, you need to get through this. The third act of it is chef's kiss, amazing. So good.
Is that the Sydney Sweeney one?
Yes, that's that one.
I love her. I think she's great.
She's great. She is full camp in this. I 100% love it. But the religious, like, it's interesting the way that those two movies show religious fanaticism on either side and how bad it is on either side. Amber's going to jab that straw into an orange. You do look like, is that the Tropicana?
Oh, right. It is.
Oh, I should have brought one for you. Tactical tarot deck. Yes, Chanel.
That's right. Instead of guns, I'm just going to like read their tarot cards. Anko 1986 says, oh, she's a Catholic missionary in Peru. Yeah, I can see she'd be very religious.
Yeah. That sounds like you're pretty locked in there.
You're not going anywhere.
The whole idea of the satanic panic, QAnon, all that is sort of based around the idea of a moral panic. This is just a Wikipedia page if you want to look at it quickly or pause it. But the moral panic is creating, and that's sort of what we're talking about, the idea of like the image of something is the moral core of that person. And if you see that, you have to panic and freak out because something's wrong. Right. Like the kids are, blue haired and now that's bad and we have to freak out and it's scary. And even though there's not a lot of logic in that, sometimes I think it's easier for people to grasp on to something that's like an imagery based thing.
Oh, right. Because it's easy that way.
Yeah. And also people can weaponize it, which is my question about Bennet Braun and people like him. Is it more of a moral weaponization because he's aware of the moral panic that will come from it? I think some people they can't differentiate and they do actually panic and are scared. And I think some people know that and then weaponize that to make money.
Right. Get on top of it. I'm so glad I left X because everything was like, we're going to die tomorrow. The world is trash. And as soon as I left it, it's been like, and you're off it too.
Yep,
it's been gone. Like 3 or so weeks, so I can't get my account back. Who gives a shit? And I feel so free.
Oh, take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Sweating balls in here.
My parents used to not allow our family to celebrate Halloween. Down Beaties 151. I'm sorry.
But was it just conservative like Catholicism? I know that Jehovah's Witnesses aren't allowed to celebrate anything, including Christmas.
No birthdays either.
No birthdays.
That's so sad.
It's very silly. I think it's kind of silly, guys.
Let a kid have a birthday. Blow out a candle.
I think it's silly. I know we've mentioned the Diddy stuff. Everybody's aware of what's going on there. I don't know if any of you have been paying attention. There's also this huge, like, not trafficking necessarily, but huge scandal. I mean, Kanye obviously is always in scandal, but this is like a whole new set of lawsuits coming out.
With his school and stuff, right?
Yeah. So Kanye is accused of discrimination and harassment by former employee. This is just over the last maybe like a week or two. And this was all happening amidst all of the Diddy stuff. And so I feel like it really got buried. But this shit is kind of wild. Does anybody know that this is happening? Obviously, no one's going to be like uber shocked by anything that he's doing. But this is really finally somebody who's got like a full solid lawsuit going and probably has some serious grounds because there's a lot of witnesses involved. And, the stuff that's being accused, he's kind of also just doing publicly a lot of the time.
Right.
But it's a lot worse than stuff that he's just tweeting.
Didn't you say he had like a bad car accident? I mean, that might have messed up his brain.
Well, yeah, I thought maybe this isn't fully just common knowledge, but Kanye was in like a really bad accident really early on in his career. He was already doing well, but he was leaving a gig really late at night. I don't remember. This is probably like early 2000s. Mm-hmm. That could be wrong. But he fell asleep at the wheel. He crashed. I mean, destroy the car. The actual pictures of the car are crazy that somebody survived it. He smashed his head open. He broke his jaw, and his mouth was wired shut, which is the song to the Right Down to the Wire. You know, that older song he has. It's about that, and he does all of the lyrics with his mouth wired shut, which is obviously a really cool, interesting thing to do in a song. And his albums after that are his best, in my opinion. I love Kanye old stuff. I obviously can't really listen to him anymore. I don't even know the last few albums at all, but it does make me wonder if the very crash that made him kind of famous because of that song and everything that came after it, if that also fucked his brain up a little bit. I wonder if he got a head injury or something.
Yeah, we know very little about head injuries and brain activity, even just the lack of sleep and what that can do to you. I mean, just one little bump and you could be dead even.
And, you know, because we are America, we are learning more about it because of football. They're trying to make sure football players can continue to play, but that's important too.
Right.
What is it called? CTE. And also if you listen to, you know, last podcast talks about it a lot, but a lot of serial killers in their younger years had a severe head injury when they were kids. Not always, but it's common.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is not to say that's what I'm saying Kanye did. No. But it just makes me wonder if that's the case. But this lawsuit is being filed by one of his former employees at the Donda School, who was also kind of working as I guess an assistant. His name's Trevor Phillips. So it is a bunch of different allegations, discrimination, hostile work environment. Can you believe Kanye would have a hostile work environment? Retaliation and violation of some different things, failing to take all reasonable steps to prevent discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. Trevor Phillips is a black man, and he is saying that Kanye openly praised white people over anyone else. Was just very open about it. Fraudster's update on Donda Academy is going to be interesting. Pink coffee cake. Yeah, for sure. Can you imagine what happened? There's going to be a full documentary. There's going to be tell-alls. That experiment, there had to have been some wild shit that went on in that school during that time period.
With children?
Yeah.
What parent in their right mind would be like, yeah, I'll send my child with a developing brain to the Kanye West school?
Well, the one that I know of personally is the Ace family, who are absolutely feckless, moralless, child exploitator influencers.
Who's the Ace family? Yeah. I don't need to know.
I would say don't worry about it. They've exploited their kids for a long time. Wow. We actually talked about them on the show, but I don't think I used their name before. But I know that they sent their kid there.
Cool.
So, yeah, labor issues, wrongful termination, all kinds of fun stuff. And so within this lawsuit, Phillips is saying that there was a lot of, first off, racism, obviously anti-Semitic tropes we're going to get into. So I'm going to be saying a couple things that is gross that I'm sorry about, but this is what he's alleging, which seems to be kind of on brand for him. It's not really a long shot to think that maybe he did say some of these things. And again, there's a bunch of receipts. So he also made a lot of statements about gay and queer people, threats to them. And also, this guy's alleging that at least once he tried to sexually stimulate himself in front of this guy.
Oh, I mean, but to point out in that thing, they said the Jewish underground mafia. Wasn't there a bunch of underground cave thing found recently? There was underground tunnels.
Oh, you're talking about in New York?
In New York.
Oh,
Is he talking about that?
No, this was before then.
This is something else.
This is just not, I don't think this is in any form of reality. He was hanging out with, what's his name? That white nationalist, Nick Fuentes. Is that who it was?
Oh, he
was living with him for a while. Yeah. I imagine a lot of this came directly from Nick Fuentes. But so he's alleging all of these different things, mental control, humiliation, constant harassment, and threatened him with violence in front of children. He also would, say things in front of him like, quote, the Jews are out to get me and the Jews are stealing all my money, which is directly in response to the fact that he is the walking embodiment of the meme where the guy is riding his bike and he puts the stick in the spoke and then he goes like, why did you do this to me? He says he's going to go. Remember when he did the whole tweet about going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people and then he lost all of his contracts with all of the companies he was working with? This was in response to that, him saying that they're trying to get him instead of like, oh no, the consequences of my own actions.
No, when you're putting out hateful content like that, I mean, really, people your kids shouldn't listen to it. And this is where I'll put on my purity morality hat. Like, if you're a hateful person, kids shouldn't listen to this.
Well, no.
No one should listen to this. Nick and Milo.
Yeah, and
is
Milo
that like a Milo and
Yiannopoulos.
Otis? Is this like a new cat and dog movie?
Ooh, I would love to watch them try to get through a forest together. I'd watch that movie.
In their suits. They're both wearing suits and ties.
Ugh, God. Yeah, well, he lived with Milo Yiannopoulos. Essentially, I'm also one day I want to know more about this whole situation. There was a property that Kanye owned where, for a time, Milo and Nick and all of these other, like, really the worst people on earth, they were all like living in this house together.
Oh, like Real World?
Yeah.
We're not tired of being friends. Wait, what do they say?
When we stop being friends and start getting real?
Yeah, we start being polite, start getting
Stop
real.
being polite, start getting real.
That's exactly what they were doing.
I don't know that any of them have ever been polite. Maybe it's the reverse in their house. They all work on being polite to each other in the house because they're so used to not being polite. That's their reality show where they're all just like, hey.
They have to say please and thank you.
You did a really good job today. Could you pass me the salt, please?
Is it your turn to make dinner, Nick? I think it's your turn.
I'd be happy to. Thank you so much, Milo.
Of course. Remember, Milo is gluten-free, so just take that into consideration.
Absolutely. I will make sure everything is to his liking.
Okay, thank you, Kanye, for doing dishes.
Love you, miss you. I wonder. But yes, Nightmare Blend rotation for sure. That house is...
it smells like cats giving birth. I can tell that.
Oh yeah, it's stinky. Oh yeah, there's a lot of cum rags around. So like a streamer house, but even more annoying, yes. I would say probably more annoying, which is that's saying a lot. But yeah, I want to know what was going on there one day. I would have watched a live stream of that house, to be honest. I want to know what they do on a day-to-day basis.
It was probably boring, let's be honest. Like, a lot of these people's only persona is upsetting other people.
Do you think they just stared ahead like robots until it was time to be on the internet?
Yeah, play video games, just kind of fart, whatever, you know.
I don't even know if they played video games. At least that would bring some level of joy into their lives. So yeah, he was hanging out with all those guys. I think this was right around the same time period because that was when the Donda School stuff was happening. There seems to be no understanding of where, like, if the school is open, if there's kids there anymore. The listings that you used to be able to reach out to have all been disconnected, but I don't think that we have a full understanding if there's still some kind of school operating somewhere, which is terrifying. But we'll find out someday, probably. So, you know, he was saying a lot of really horrible anti-Semitic things to this guy and also like insulting people, like he was claiming to, like, he was talking about Jared Kushner or whatever, who I don't fucking care about, but I don't want him to be anti-Semitic towards him.
Oh, Downbeaties151 says, my son was just playing a VR game on stream and someone added a picture of a dog licking someone's penis, so now I have to block them on the computer. Yeah, that's the thing about the internet. It's really just a wild west of dog dicks and two ladies talking.
There's no... Is there no parental controls on Steam? Because a lot of the Steam games are pretty chill.
Because a lot of those kids, they'll find, like Nick Fuentes, he's a young guy, you know, and they look at him and he's like in a suit and he's talking on a stream and they're like, yeah, oh yeah, I like him. I'll follow him. He seems like he's got his act together. And then before you know it, it's just, you know, he's on 4chan.
Well, that's it. But the scarier part is with, like, I think what you're talking about too, games that you are talking to strangers on. A lot of the biggest, scariest predators go on like Roblox and all that shit and meet little kids that way. I don't know how, as a parent, how you like manage that shit where your kid wants to play games where they're talking to strangers online.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on the parents. I don't know how you would navigate that. That seems so difficult because kids want it. That's all they want to do.
And if you make like here's a kids only chat, guess who's going to make a fake profile and join?
I mean, every time.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. This is a huge issue we're going to have to continue to try to figure out a solution to as a people.
Hey, this is Jeff Lewis from Radio Andy, live and uncensored. Catch me talking with my friends about my latest obsessions, relationship issues, and bodily ailments. With that kind of drama that seems to follow me, you never know what's going to happen.
You can listen to Jeff Lewis live at home or anywhere you are. Download the SiriusXM app for over 425 channels of ad-free music, sports, entertainment, and more. Subscribe now and get 3 months free. Offer details apply.
Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Unlike other brands, Ollie offers 5 flavors that are as nutritious as they are delicious, all made in U.S. kitchens without harmful fillers or preservatives. Head to ollie.com, tell them all about your dog, and use code HAPPYPUP to get 60% off your welcome kit with a bonus. You'll get a storage container for a mess-free experience, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee if your dog doesn't lick the bowl clean.
Also, Kanye, he was doing this anti-gay stuff, which he's also done a lot over his career. He would defend Hitler, which he's also done in public, but this guy has like firsthand experiences with what he would say off the camera, because sometimes people are like, oh, he's just trying to be a provocateur. This guy's like, nah, he says this to me all the time. He says it to everyone. He says it to kids. So he said stuff like he's going to go after the gays and then the Jews, which that never sounds like that's going to be, he's not like going to get them coffee usually when he says that.
Hero 2 says, I work as a child therapist, and teaching parents and grandparents how to monitor the internet is hard work. I mean, even for me as an adult monitoring myself, it's hard work.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're doing that, Hero 2, because the media literacy issue we're having with older generations has obviously destroyed our society in a lot of ways, but it's really scary to think about how many parents just let their kids online and don't teach them how to prepare themselves for the internet, because they're never going to keep it all the way.
Because I'm sure the parents didn't even want to be parents to begin with.
None of them did.
Oops.
No, some of them did.
I'm almost 30, a strange rock, and I don't ever want to play online because of how many creeps there are.
I can't even imagine. I like really nerdy old school kind of like adventure games that are not, I don't like talking to other people when I play games. It's literally when I go to become introverted as much as possible. Like, I don't want to make new friends.
I'll show you guys the games I play. Let me show you guys, called Block Blast. Block Puzzle Blast. Oh.
Whoa.
There we go. Block Blast.
I like the way your blocks look. Do you want to meet up later?
Are there pedophiles on this app? I don't know.
I mean, probably there are, but then they can't get to you.
Block Blast.
Have you tried to show your kids Block Blast? Yeah. Yeah, you like Pokemon because you don't have to talk to anyone. Exactly. I don't want to make new friends. Even the games I play where they want you to connect just like on the most vague level, I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to go see another person playing a game.
If I wanted to talk to people, I'd go to a bar, like a normal person.
Yeah, I do this to dissociate from reality. I don't want to talk to anybody. But back to Kanye. He said that one of the reasons he hated gay people is that they're being controlled by Bill Gates so that they don't have children for population control, which sounds exactly like he parroted exact words from Nick Fuentes, which I imagine that's what happened there. Also, of course, being completely ignorant of how many gay people have kids or want kids or can have kids.
How is Bill Gates controlling gay people? Like, is it a video game, like a Block Blast?
I think it's just more
gay people.
It's dog whistles. It's just It's nonsense.
Like, I really want to know,
man.
Is it like a lever?
The people who are on when I was like looking at the YouTube comments on some of the videos about this lawsuit, the coping of Kanye fans in the comment section is almost. I can't even process it.
Because their main man is going away.
And there were people on it saying, some of them are trolling, but some of them probably believe, oh, this is just to distract from Diddy. They're just trying to distract you from Diddy. And what do you mean? Who? Why? Why would they do? What are you talking about?
What is this distraction? That's always like, oh, God. Every time something happens, and like when Andrew Tate was going to jail, people were just like, well, if you really cared about human trafficking, you care about this other guy. And I'm like, can't both things be true?
No.
Like, You just want to say that because you don't want your boy Tate to go to jail.
Well,
That's it.
In the idea that they, I guess the media or something, are trying to distract from Diddy by talking about Kanye. Isn't that just like a parallel? Like what? Right. To what end? Like why?
End? Picky Pineapple says probably the microchips that Bill Gates put in the vaccines. I guess. Yeah, that's it. We all know that the gay people were the first to get the vaccines.
You're right. They were.
We remember that.
They pushed right to the front of the line.
Actually, that's why I got the vaccine, is because all rich people were getting it, and I was like, oh, well, for sure. If the same, like, what's her face, the lady Pelosi, she was like getting a vaccine. I was like, oh, I want that one. Right. I want the one that Pelosi's getting.
Yeah, go to whatever the rich people are doing for sure. Yeah. Also, things Kanye said, he said no one on the staff could be fat, that they would be fired if they were overweight in any way. He also says that he said this in front of kids at the school. He only likes to date white women.
Oh.
He also told them that he would shave their heads and that he intended to put a jail at the school and that they could be locked in cages.
What?
Staff at the Donda school quickly distracted the children and escorted them out of the room. This is directly from the lawsuit. This is one of the many instances where there were multiple witnesses. And so that's one of the reasons I think that this is not, just a money grab kind of thing. Yeah. There's a lot of people who were around who saw all of this happening. This is a really interesting section of this. So one of the things in the lawsuit, this guy who was really brought on to the Donda school as an instructor of sorts, I think, also was sort of acting as like a production assistant or an assistant to him. They were traveling together at times. And there was a time when they were in a hotel and they were in a room together alone. And during this instance, he claims that Ye grabbed the hotel phone and sternly told the operator, quote, "I asked you to put on Batman now," which Phillips remained quiet and baffled. The hotel did do that, but then he goes on to say in the lawsuit later that Kanye started the movie. He's speaking of the Batman.
Is he 5 years old?
Well, not only that, he turned the sound completely off and he made this guy Phillips watch the movie in silence with him. You weren't allowed to talk, but also he turned the sound all the way off. So you were watching the visuals of the Batman. And during that, Trevor Phillips, who is a cishet man, he commented that he looked a lot like, so Kanye says to him, "You look a lot like Zoe Kravitz." Philip was caught off guard by the comment and gave Kanye a confused look. Catching himself complimenting his employee, Kanye responded, "Yeah, you look like her, but not like that. You're handsome, like in a Lenny Kravitz type of way," which you don't want to hear from your boss while you're in a hotel room with them, like under any circumstance. But he said basically he was a masculine looking Zoe Kravitz. And just right after that, this is also from the lawsuit, just a few moments later, while lying flat on the bed and staring up at the ceiling, Kanye began to make slow up and down motions with his hand just above his genitals, as though he was... Yes.
No. Oh, my God.
So, and Phillips says that he was saying, "I used to have sex every day, at least 2 to 3 girls. And now, man, I can't even lay down without jerking off." Then Kanye used his second hand to forcefully and dramatically grab and pull the hand, making the masturbation gestures away from his crotch as he said, "I got to keep my hand away from my phone to keep me away from looking at pornos." So Phillips was obviously shocked and distraught by all of this happening. And he was apparently getting aroused. So, which to me, like, what I'm hearing in that is that he demanded the Batman be on because he found Zoe Kravitz or maybe Robert Pattinson attractive, which is why the sound was off, that he was trying to get his employee in the mood to potentially suck him off or something. And in any instance, there should be no circumstance at any point where your boss is laying on a bed in a hotel room with you in the room. Even if he's not touching his penis or vagina, or she touching her vagina or whoever. Yeah. Whatever genital. No genitals should be stroked.
No, you do your job, you clock out, you go to home, you get a paycheck, you feed your family. Like, what is this jerk me off on the bed with Batman on silence?
If there's ever a reason that the two of you have to be in a hotel room together, you should be pressed against opposite walls with hands directly at your sides like you're a toy soldier. And you speak to each other without any gestures, and then you give a nod and you turn away from the room.
And
those are the only things that should happen in that situation. But that's not what happened to this guy, who, again, this was happening to him as he was a teacher at his school. Like, why was this occurring?
Poor guy.
Yeah. Also, he attached some text. So, of course, he has a bunch of stuff in text. He has a bunch of witnesses. And this text message, Kanye's asking for this exchange. He's asking for things. He's basically just being an asshole, being like, I'm tired of asking you for shit. With all due respect, he writes, just feels like I'm always being dragged and ignored, which of course he's not. Literally every single person around him is bowing to his whims at all times. But he's like saying to Trevor Phillips, you're not doing things right. And then he says the next text, he says, I'm on some complete Hitler level stuff, minus the gas chambers in Jesus' name, was what he wrote to his employee. Which then Trevor Phillips responds with basically an apology because he doesn't...
I could see apologizing in that moment because I wouldn't know what was going on. And I would just be like, can we please just like, I'll apologize. We'll stop this and we'll go to normal. You know?
Yeah. I mean, exactly. This is sort of also what Trevor is saying in this lawsuit, that he didn't leave this job for a number of reasons. It wasn't because he wasn't scared and freaked out. It was, his mother, who also worked for the school, had gotten this amazing opportunity. His daughter got allowed to go into the school. At first, he thought it was okay. This is all stuff that happened after he was working there.
Yeah.
He didn't want to disappoint his mom. He didn't want to have this affect his daughter in any way. He was trying to do the right thing, but that's sort of like the boiling the frog in the water metaphor. Oh. And then suddenly you're apologizing for, I guess, not being Hitler-like enough.
Are we sure it was the Batman? Maybe it was the Batman and Robin. Yes, that homoerotic thriller.
Oh, man, that is a very homoerotic Batman. Yeah. That's for sure. And again, obviously, I think it goes without saying, it doesn't matter if Kanye is gay. He doesn't want to be gay. He might be. We don't really know what is going on in there in that head of his. But the fact that this is a guy who had not consented to any of this and was an employee, not cool.
No. Also, have you seen pictures of his house? Like how you decorate.
Oh, yeah. You were talking about when he lived with Kim Kardashian.
It's just all white and brutalism and like harsh edges. There's no art. There's no beauty. It's just like stillness. It's sterile.
It looks a lot like an institution, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks like an institution.
But I think it's supposed to be like you said, look like clean and minimalist, but it kind of just reads like, I can't believe kids grow up in that house. It's very scary.
That's almost child abuse. I don't know. But I'm sure he did a lot of other things.
Like the beige mom trend that's going on.
Right.
Have you seen that floating around the internet? The moms who paint all of their kids' toys.
I think some of that's just like rage bait, but some of it's real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure a lot of it is. But I do think that some people are definitely adhering to the aesthetic thing about their kids' toys. And it does... I think there have been a bunch of specialists that said that actually really damages children. The reason kids' toys are colorful is because they're learning.
Yeah.
And their eyes are developing and they need to see all those colors. But
we'll find out.
What do I know?
We'll find out in 10 years.
We will. We'll see what happens. So, and then the breaking point for this entire thing that it's towards the end of the lawsuit is that at the school, Kanye was being probably unsurprisingly very irrational, unreasonable about a lot of requests and demands, and would also agree to things and then freak out when the things happen and be like, why did you do this? And they're like, you said it was cool. And then he'd get really mad. One of the things that happened in that way was these kids were building gardens outside, which sounds really nice. Wow, that's a cool thing for kids to do. They get outside, they get to learn how to plant things, learn about how things grow.
Yeah.
So in these little planters, Kanye wanted to micromanage everything about certain things. And with these planters, they were painting the bottoms a red color that they had to literally ask Kanye if they could use. He had to sign off on the paint colors of the planters that were going to be in this classroom, which he did. He signed off on it. When he came in to see them after this signing off of the next day or the next week, he lost his mind. And he said that essentially, why would you do this? Why didn't you tell me you were going to paint these red? You can't be showing red to kids. I don't know if this was another weird religious thing.
Wait till he finds out that nature has lots of colors and you can't control it.
Well, and also he said it was fine, which is, you shouldn't have to ask him anyway, but he said it was fine. And so he started to blame this guy, even though that wasn't the guy's call and it had nothing to do with him. He just decided to pick this guy to freak out at. And as people are trying to calm him down, he's saying stuff like, just because this looks beautiful to most people and think the garden looks good doesn't mean it's what I wanted. So just saying the kind of quiet part out loud, like Kanye wanted to control constantly.
Dictator.
Which is already fucked up, but then it got a lot worse. And so he's belittling, and this is also at church service, by the way. So this is also during church. So parents are there, kids are there. This huge group, he's berating him in front of all these people about a thing that wasn't even anything to do with them. So the guy is now already conditioned to be kind of pleading with Kanye and trying to rationalize, which is what happens in abusive situations. You start to try to fawn and de-escalate the situation to get the person to stop screaming. And then you get into that cycle. It's why it's the vicious cycle, right? So now he's at this point being trying to tell Kanye how much this job means to him, because Kanye starts screaming, you're fired, get the fuck out of here, your job is over, go tell your mom you're done, over this fucking paint that he had nothing to do with. And so he's trying to rationalize, going this means so much to me and my mom and my child. He was talking about how he has this big mass on his neck that they can't diagnose, and he's worried this is going to be his last stand on, his last thing he's going to do on earth, and he really wants to just leave something good on the world, and he really wants his daughter to have a good, and all this shit, trying to keep his job. In the lawsuit, it says Kanye rushed close to Philip's face and started yelling so hard that his neck and face veins bulged. Fuck you. Kanye raised his hand and pointed at Philip's neck condition and screamed, fuck your neck. Then pointed at the school. Kanye belched, and fuck your daughter. I don't give a fuck about none of that. This is at a church service at school.
Whoa.
In a pathetic effort to compose himself, Kanye walked back up to Phillips and physically threatened him. I was going to punch you in the face. He repeated, I was going to punch you in the face. And then says with slang, I was going to steal you in the face. And then starts talking to all the other employees around, saying how he was going to punch him, right? How he was going to punch him. And all of the employees just like a dictator screaming, they just look at their heads, they nod, and they put their heads down. This was all in front of kids.
Ooh, I mean, we would all like to think I'd be the hero and I'd tell him to fuck right off. But I feel if I were in that situation and a man is screaming like that, yeah, I'd put my head down too and just be please don't hit me. Please don't hit me.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, they are all now in this position of this person with extreme power over them. They've signed on to this project. They're already having second and third and fourth thoughts, but now they're in it. This is on top of so many other things in this lawsuit. There's stuff about how Kanye would not let them do safety construction on the place they were having the school. They wouldn't, there's open wires and stuff, and he just would not let them touch it. So kids were around open electricity.
Wow.
And the person who was leasing the building where they were staying retracted it, probably because of crazy things like that. And then they had to go find another school, and it was just chaos. But chaos with all of these children involved, and then all of these just battered employees, essentially. So this is a lawsuit that has just started, but it's just getting buried underneath all the Diddy stuff. And I just feel it's important to talk about, especially because there is so much credibility to this, and there is probably a lot of meat to it. And so we'll see if it picks up any steam online, but he's gone to that point where people are fanatical for him and they will defend him. It's almost just if you bring somebody enough entertainment that is what you need, you will excuse any behavior that they have, And some people, I think, will just always, no matter what, will just always defend.
I don't think there's a single entertainer that I'd be no, I refuse to believe, if they did something bad.
Yeah, I can't. It'd be really tricky.
I don't know. Let's think. Let's do a little thought experiment.
Who could gaslight me?
The red thing is almost like Elon hating yellow.
Yeah.
Elon hates yellow. I've been noticing yellow has been a spiritual color in my life lately, and I see it in a lot of moments, and it like brings positivity to me so much that I think I'm going to paint my living room yellow.
Well, he's never coming over.
I guess Elon Musk is not invited to my house then.
And you were going to invite him.
I was.
Yeah.
He was on my wedding registry to my fake husband.
I mean, he might like that. It sounds very Grimes-esque behavior.
Can I get married to my invisible man?
And invite only Elon Musk to the wedding.
Just him sitting in the living room. Be like, nice place you got here. Thanks.
Man, I would love that as a chapter in your life that you just suddenly started dating Elon Musk and didn't tell any of us, and suddenly you're
I'm too old for him. He doesn't want me.
Well, that could be true because he is a child. He's got a childlike.
We are the same zodiac sign.
Isn't that bad?
I don't know. We're the same zodiac sign. Also, Tom Cruise and I have the same birthday.
Wow.
But yeah, I think I'm too old for Elon Musk. I don't think I'm his type. I'm also too fat for him. Sorry.
I would say, let's not even put that on you. Why would you want to have sex with that man?
No. I'm just saying, like, I couldn't be like, fuck him. I don't want him. Like, he wouldn't even want me. I'm too old and fat.
Could you imagine him over you? Like, just his face over you, what he would look like?
I don't think I want to.
I was going to try to do a South African accent. It's not going to happen.
It's a difficult accent. Kanye isn't even special. He's a run-of-the-mill narcissist.
I'll be the first to say I think a lot of his music is really good. The older things, like the albums that came out in the 2000s, I love, but I don't listen to anymore because it just sucks. It's just, I can't enjoy it anymore. It's not like it's fun.
Oh, they say he doesn't deserve me. That's nice.
You're right, Enri's 47. That's
right. Oh, and Shanna Liza says, sorry, I'm too fat for you. It's such a powerful sentence. That's right. Feel free to use it. Feel free. You can take it. Sorry, I'm too fat for you.
Yeah, he does happen to be talented in some ways, but the idea that he's the most talented person or he's a god or all that stuff, obviously some people really lean into that and enjoy that about him. Mm-hmm. It's not that. It ain't all that. It's not worth this. I'll tell you that much.
No.
But I have to imagine that if this one guy had these situations happen, there's got to be just so much worse that we don't know about that might come out.
Yeah, if this is just like one guy's testimony, imagine who else.
We were talking earlier about his current wife, and listen, I don't know her. All I know that she's Australian and she used to work for him.
She's supposed to be very, very smart, like genius level IQ. That's what I heard. And she like worked for really high up people, and I think she has an architect degree.
Yeah, she's like a really accomplished, beautiful woman, and maybe she's in on this. Maybe they're doing this art thing right now because every time you see them, she looks like a hostage.
Right. Well, he said that she's not allowed to speak in public or something.
Right. And I'm just saying I'm going to throw on the blanket statement. Maybe she's in on this and they're doing this together as something. But I don't know, man. If this is an act, she's doing a very good job. Every time I see them, I feel kind of sick because if he's making her do these things, what he's doing to her is horrific.
She's like practically naked on the streets. And I'm no prude. I'm no, grip my pearl necklace kind of girl. I'm like, wear whatever you want. But it just doesn't look like this is what she wants.
It doesn't look to me like she's enjoying that, which is, if that's the case, that's a crime that he's committing.
Humiliation kink, throwing gas for Bernie, right? Might be what it is.
And if she's into it,
God bless.
I don't care. Although, there's a time and place also. He does have children. It seems like those boundaries are being broken a little bit. But whatever. They're going to do what they're going to do. I hope that she's okay. I hope it is something that she's into. If that's what's the case, I don't wish this on her. But I suppose many things will be learned in 10 years.
Right when those beige children grow up. We'll see what happens.
I'm totally down for people wearing what they want, but she looks so uncomfortable in the dress strange rock. I agree. She looks incredibly uncomfortable. But again, maybe that's a thing she's into. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like it. Makes me feel really gross and weird.
She's gorgeous. Say that.
She's
Beautiful.
absolutely stunning, for sure.
We do have... Do you want more on this?
I think that was the end of my slides.
Your presentation. Do you want to bow now?
Nah.
Bow. I have a silly video to end it. And I just want to say that, like, I hope I become a woman like this someday. You know? I love her. And she's funny.
Excuse me. Could you please record me for just a second?
Yeah, sure.
Why are you following me?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That's funny. That's a good little gift. Good, she got him.
I'm full support of these older women doing comedy bits. Like I think last podcast just did the one who I've seen online a lot, the woman who always talks about like her funeral and the guy she's having sex with and stuff. I love her.
That's hilarious. And the thing about TikTok is that anybody can sort of be a celebrity. There's good and bad in that, but I do like that we're seeing women of all ages and all sizes just sort of being hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good thing to end on because that does make me fucking happy. Makes me smile.
Makes me smile.
We're almost at the end, but in 6:30, you're coming right back. Now that we had all the frowns, you get the smiles.
That's right. And we have a little bit of break, I guess, to cleanse the palate because this is a very heavy duty show. We're about to go into a lighter show. So, stick around. We got some subs. Thank you for subbing tonight.
Brighter side of being stuck in a hotel room with Kanye West.
What is the brighter side of being stuck in the hotel room with Kanye West? I get to watch Batman.
You get to watch it. You can't listen to it.
Shit. I guess I could watch it. Yeah.
Thanks for the subs tonight, Lil B. Box of Demons, Hero 2, and Marsh Arts. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, and we had like 3 different hype trains earlier. Oh my God.
One day I'll learn what that means. But I think it's good. Thank you.
Hype train means like a lot of people are subbing and when a hype train is coming close. So that's why like when you're listening to this on Spotify or something and you hear me saying Natalie's asleep and when you hear me saying like hype train, it's not because I'm like dismissing the topics at hand. This is a more chattier sort of situation than our normal shows. And I would like more people to start subbing because when you get 100% hype train, you get more money. And we want to keep this network going.
Opposite Kanye, you're hearing, not seeing the stream.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I like to do everything opposite of Kanye. All right. Bye. Stick around.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
Finding the music you love shouldn't be hard. That's why Pandora makes it easy to explore all your favorites and discover new artists and genres you'll love. Enjoy a personalized listening experience simply by selecting any song or album, and we'll make a station crafted just for you. Best of all, you can listen for free. Download Pandora on the Apple App Store or Google Play and start hearing the soundtrack to your life.
At Strayer University, we help students like you go from will I to why not. For over 130 years, we've been innovating higher education to make it more affordable, accessible, and attainable so you can reach your goals. Go from thinking, can I, to yes, I can, and keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.